Welcome to the I Like It podcast. I'm Clint.
I'm Joseph. That's the first time we've ever completed that intro.
Like normally?
Like normal people.
Wow. Pretty incredible.
That's how you know.
I said when I first got in here, like, I can't believe that you still have me doing this.
I think you're going to say that every time we film this podcast.
Probably.
Every time.
Every time I get up this early and actually do it. But now I'm in focus. Oh, look at that. That's a much better shot. I just have to lean forward. If I lean back.
The whole time. Yeah, that's terrible. What are you doing back there?
It's actually working. It's working now.
Oh, okay. All right.
Wait, is it? Or am I out of focus again? You know what? I don't care.
Just don't look at yourself.
If I'm out of focus, we can deal with it.
Yeah.
I'll stop looking. How's your week been, Joseph?
I don't know. I try to block out most of my week. Just not dwell on it. I have a confession to make, actually. I've stooped to an all-time low now at work.
Yeah.
Because when I work, I usually listen to a lot of like music or podcasts or audiobooks just to dissociate from the experience of working. I think that's a normal human being thing to do.
Yeah, I think so.
I've reached a new level.
You like what you do.
I guess you're right. I've reached a new level of dissociation, though. I started watching TV shows while I was at work. Not like standing there watching them, but just like putting my phone in like the corner of a room, and then like I'm just going and setting up the rest of the room while it's going on in the background.
All right. I'm at work.
Yeah, just sit on my phone and,
Sit down.
No, not sitting down. We're working. Clearly getting stuff done. We're listening to it more so. Yeah. I think I only made it through half an episode 4. I was like, this just feels wrong. Even if I'm getting the same amount of work done,
if you're doing all your work, still wrong.
I don't think I should do that.
No, it's okay. I used to, at lunch, I used to watch an episode of The Office.
That makes sense. It seems like something you would do.
Yeah.
In your sad life.
Not very long. Because, it kind of like you, I was like, this feels weird. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
We had this intern who was a great intern. But, yeah, he did that. He would go in that room, which is what I do now. He gave me the idea to go in this room over here. But, he'd find a room that was empty and just sit alone.
That makes sense.
And there's great natural light in that room. There's a window. He'd just open up the window, leave the lights off, dark, and he would sit there and watch The Office.
All right.
For his whole lunch break.
It's a great time.
I was like, man, you've got great, work-life boundaries.
Yeah, I guess.
But, yeah.
Private office.
I almost hit a deer this morning. I told you that.
Yeah? Door buck. I mean, I got to know.
It wasn't funny the first time you asked me that question, but right now it's really funny.
It's the magic of record.
That's it. Does it matter?
Yeah, I mean, if it's a buck, you might consider keeping it, right?
What?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the country person in me talking, right?
That's like Butler and you.
If he's got a nice rack.
Yeah, I guess. I guess you think about keeping him.
Yeah.
Or just grabbing one of his antlers.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't want to touch that thing after I run it over, though.
It's fresh.
It's fresh, but it probably doesn't. If you shoot it, it looks a little better.
I guess you're right.
If you run it over, you might damage it, but maybe not in my car. But, no. So what happened was, first one ran across, and he was probably 100 yards ahead of me. And I was like, oh, wow, a deer. And it was a pretty big one, too. And then I had the thought, if there's one deer, there's probably another deer. And right around the time I'm having that thought, I slammed on the brakes. And another one, if I would have kept going, I would have hit it.
Wow.
I was like, there's probably going to be a second deer. And it was like a Spidey sense moment.
Yeah.
Boom, slammed on the brakes.
Split second thought.
And missed him. Just missed
him.
He was 5 feet.
So you came to a full stop.
Probably 5 miles an hour.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Stop.
Wow.
And once he missed me, and I.
That's big.
But yeah, man, it was wild. So it's already been a day.
Yeah.
Already been a day.
That's great, though. Like some natural adrenaline.
Yeah, it was. I mean, a little bit. I'm so tired. It really wasn't.
Oh, wow.
Have you ever had those moments, though, where, like, so me and my wife were going to St. Augustine, and we were driving, and I was coming this way, you know, and a car was turning left.
Okay.
Like, we had a green light.
Okay.
And they didn't.
Yeah.
And they were turning left out in front of us. And I, like, swerved, like, in the Kia.
Oof.
I swerved in our Kia Soul.
Oh.
Like, so hard. And we missed that car. It had to have been by, like, this much. Like, legit.
Oof.
And this lady just wasn't paying attention and pulled her out in front of it. But I felt like I did it. And I was like, no way.
Yeah.
No way I actually did that. Like, I felt like I was in a movie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it was that wild.
Wow.
And then I went and pulled into an Arby's. The Arby's right down the road. And I, like, almost threw up in the parking lot.
A breakdown.
And then, yeah, I have mental, like, oh, my gosh, I almost died. But we didn't really almost die. It just would have sucked.
Yeah. I've been on the opposite end of that. I've been so tired sitting at a stoplight, and I was in the right-hand lane, so I'm just going straight. But the left-hand turn arrow went green, but my brain was so asleep that I was like, "Oh, it's green for me too." It made it worse because the opposing lane also had the green arrow, so I drove into someone trying to make a left turn. I didn't, crash or anything. They just got very upset with me.
Yeah.
So out of it. It took me till like halfway down the road to realize, oh, that's why they honked.
That was a red light.
And I just went.
I turned out at a red light. I've never done that. I've almost done it. I've like let off my brakes and then been like, oh, nope, that's a red light.
Yeah.
But I've seen a lady do it.
Yeah.
So like
It's wild.
Yeah, the light, the green arrow went and she just took off, man. I looked over and I was like, oh, I guess she thought that was green. And then she like got to the intersection and then she hit the brakes and like thought about it, you know? And it was like, oh man. Well, I'm through the intersection. It just took off.
That's so
It
funny.
was pretty funny. I mean, I would do the same thing, but
That's so funny, man. I think about that all the time. I'm like, how many red lights do I run and just not notice? Because I'm on autopilot.
I mean, I never get there, but
Yeah.
I have been like really tired when I was in high school, like really tired leaving school or leaving football practice. Mm-hmm. And there's a left-hand turn. You know how you can get out into the
Yeah.
You can get out there while it's still green.
Oh, so you're one of those people?
I'm one of those people.
Wow.
And then when it turns yellow, you wait for the car to stop and you just go. You clear the intersection.
Yeah.
But which is legal. It's legal.
Okay.
You're allowed to do it.
Sure.
Okay, just for the record. But there's been a time where I was just so tired. I didn't fall asleep in the intersection.
Oh, no.
But that light turned red, and it stayed red, and people started honking at me. And I was like, oh, shoot. And I went. But I just like sat there and zoned off.
Oh, my God.
I was exhausted. I was really tired. But
Just imagining you stopped and everyone's just looking at you.
In my little Pontiac vibe, I'm just stopped.
Oh,
and I'm
wow.
not sleeping. I'm just like, kind of staring off, windows down, staring off into the sky.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
My bad. And you do that. You know the wave, the little.
Yeah.
There's like a universal.
I'm an idiot
universal
sign.
traffic signal. Like, I mean, there's a couple of them. There's really two of them. There's this one and there's the other one. So it's like, man, my bad. Or this is also thank you.
Yeah.
If somebody does something, if somebody lets you in, you're
Yeah. One arm up.
one arm up, hand back like this. It's like a It's not a normal like wave. Like thank you. Like if you're waving to that person, but it's like
you gotta like bend it back a little,
it's almost
unnatural.
like acknowledgement.
Yeah.
And then you keep going.
That's so funny.
That's what we do. I don't know who decided how we. I think we all just collectively. I think it's like a.
Yeah, like what's the most
in our
passive
bones. It's a
move we could
natural-
make?
Yeah, it's a natural thing. It's like
Do you know? This is like probably the most boring story that I could ever have to offer. Do you know why we salute in America and like the military?
that.
Yeah.
Why?
It goes back to medieval times. So like if you think about like knights and stuff that are like on horses and with armor, like one of the most vulnerable parts of their armor is their like visor, right?
Okay.
And because it's, difficult to see out of, whatever, especially when you open your visor, right? So when you open your visor to look at someone in the eye, like a man, it's very vulnerable, right? So it's a sign of, I trust you, I see you, right? So it comes from the lifting up of the visor.
Wow.
So it's the, yeah.
That's interesting.
It's very interesting. Also, the military is just like way too prideful. So, of course, they would tie it back to something from medieval times.
Of course they would.
Whatever, man.
They're like, I'm cool. We have a good reason for doing this.
Yeah. Everything has a reason. Sure. We didn't just make that up.
All right.
So one time, I'm going to tell this story. It reminded me this morning. My wife left for work as I was leaving to come here because she bakes like really early in the morning. It's a pretty natural occurrence. But there's this interesting period of time where I was working at Publix, but I was doing like the ghost shift. So I was working from like 12 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Okay.
And
the ghost shift.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what
Ghost?
it's called. Yeah, ghost.
Ghost shift.
What did you think?
Okay.
I said goat?
I thought you said go. I was working the go shift.
No, it was more like sit down.
Well,
and
when
wait.
you're editing this podcast, you're going to hear yourself say go shift, and you're going to be like, well,
Probably.
that sounded silly.
You're subjectively influencing me.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, anyway, so I'm working from like 12 to 9 a.m. And we were dating at the time, my wife and I, and she, or maybe we were engaged. I don't remember. And she was working that same night, baking by herself. And so, I don't know, it must have been like 2 a.m, right? I'm working and I get a phone call from her. I'm like, oh, like maybe she just wants to chat or whatever. She's by herself in this bakery. Sure. So I pick up the phone and she goes,
she like bakes at a bakery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
My bad.
I mean, she bakes at like a coffee shop, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like at home. She likes to stay up late at home and bake. That's what I was picturing in my head. I'm sorry. All right. Makes more sense to be baking in a bakery.
yeah.
At night. Okay.
Yeah. So she's at work. I'm at work. It's 2 a.m. She gives me a phone call, right?
You're both prepping stuff for the next day.
Correct.
Yeah.
And she calls me and she goes, Joseph, there's someone in here with me. And I was like, oh my gosh. I started freaking out. I was like, tell me like what is going on. And she was like starting to like become inconsolable, right? About like how afraid she was. She was like, I'm hiding in like the corner of this, of the kitchen right now. And I was like, oh no. Like I was walking toward the door of my place of work. I was like, I'm going to get in the car and I'm going to go over there and like try to help her. But I'm like, wow, she's 15, 20 minutes away from me. There's entirely a possibility that I'm going to listen to her die on the phone.
Yeah.
And so as I'm talking to her, I'm like, just like keep talking, like keep me informed. Maybe like we call like 911, like that's what we have to do. And like, as this is going on, all of a sudden she screams very loud.
Oh no.
And I'm like, this is it. I'm listening to her die right now. And then she stops talking to me.
Of course.
So it's a scream followed by silence. I'm losing it at this point. Like, I think I'm crumpled over at Publix, just like, this is it. This is the end for me too. Like, I'm done. And
Gosh.
come to find out what had happened from her perspective when she calmed down. She told me they had like the door to the kitchen was like one of those like swivel doors that you can just like kind of tap and it comes open. Mm-hmm. She was like cowering in the back corner of this kitchen trying to talk to me and fill me in. And she just sees the swivel door go and burst open.
Oh my gosh.
No one comes through it.
What?
Yeah. And then like, I don't know, maybe 5 seconds later, someone comes through it. And it was like the other baker from the other location.
Oh my god!
Like coming in to deliver their baked goods.
Oh,
and
give me a phone call.
Yeah,
before you show up at 2 a.m.
Yeah. I think ever since then they have been talking. But
dog.
Yeah. It's just like killing her nerves, right?
That would be terrifying. Are you fight or flight?
Me?
Yeah, in that situation.
Yo, I
Because
think
Christina's probably flight.
Yeah.
She's backed into a corner.
Done. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm definitely cognitively on team flight, but I think base instincts.
Well,
I have
yeah.
to shamefully
Cognitively
admit,
goes out the window,
I'm
bro.
a little bit of a fight. Yeah.
I'm 100% fight. Bro, they used to have a scarecrow around here. So we had an old custodian.
Where?
That lived, not lived here. Did not live here. That's another story. There was a custodian that tried to live here.
Yeah, I did know about that.
You know about that guy.
It's creepy.
But no, there was a custodian who worked here, and his name was Ray. We called him Ray all day.
Okay.
He had this like scarecrow that he would just move around the building.
No.
Yes.
Just like leave in random rooms? That is the worst.
He left him in that bathroom one time.
That is the worst.
And it was terrifying.
You gotta fire that guy, man.
Bro, there was this one time where I worked night staff in this building, and I was locking up and I was turning off lights, and I round a corner, and that thing is right there, and I just decked it.
Oh.
You know, it was just gut instinct. I just punched it and laid it out on the floor, and that's when I discovered. I was like, well, I guess I'm fight, not flight. Some other people want to run.
That's so
or
funny.
jump backwards.
That's
but I'm just
so
like,
funny.
nope. Boom. I took him out.
Wow.
And then I
You
yelled
made
at Ray
sure.
the next day. I was like, and then it was shortly thereafter. I didn't do it, but shortly thereafter, that scarecrow ended up in the dumpster.
Yeah.
But it's the custodian.
Yeah.
He goes to the dumpster all the time. He got it out of the dumpster. And he put it back somewhere in here.
That is even worse. You imagine throwing that thing away and next day it's in your office?
It's there.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's horror movie stuff right there.
But yeah,
What a good practical joke.
that is really good. Well, now I'm giving you ideas. You're going to start moving
That's
scarecrow
so
around here.
awful.
That is terrifying, though.
Yeah.
To be baking somewhere at night and you think
Yeah.
you're supposed to be alone. Like at 9 o'clock,
Yeah.
when people leave this building, I would walk it. Excuse me. I want to burp in the mic. I would walk it, hit the lights, and I'm out.
Yeah.
You know, set the alarm, make
Yeah,
sure all
yeah,
the doors are locked.
Yeah.
When the alarm worked, I would set the alarm.
Oh,
and
don't
I'm
admit that on the podcast.
out. Sorry.
Gotta edit that out.
Sorry, guys. No, you don't. Leave it in. Leave it in. The people need to know. Well, we don't want people to rob the FLC.
Don't tell them where we are.
Sorry. I'm
You want to give out the address too?
more information than I should.
You want to tell them which doors don't lock?
All the doors lock. All the doors
Yes.
lock.
All of the doors lock.
You know I'm being honest because I just revealed everything else about it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah,
what was I even saying? Yeah, that's what I discovered on Fight Not Flight.
Wow.
That's what I was talking about.
I'm so glad you had that experience. I don't feel like everyone does. Yeah.
I just now realized that I didn't wear shoes to this podcast this morning.
Gosh, that's disgusting. What? Did you wear shoes here? Or are your shoes?
No, I don't have any shoes.
You
within-
drove barefoot.
Yeah, I always drive barefoot.
Oh my gosh.
You don't drive barefoot?
No, I can't. Like pedals don't operate if I don't have.
Are your feet
Closed
that
toe shoes.
sensitive?
No, it's not that they're that sensitive. It just feels like a violation against nature.
What?
Yeah,
Why?
I don't know, man.
It's more natural to not have shoes on.
Are you one of those people who have like toe socks and toe shoes?
I used to. I used to have a pair of toe shoes.
I am judging.
They
you
weren't
so
the name
hard right
brand
now.
ones, but they were amazing. I wore them in high school.
Oh my! In high school.
In high school.
I feel so bad for you.
In high
that
school,
is-
I felt like Spider-Man.
You are the
It was
worst.
amazing.
That is so.
Nah, bro.
That is
I've been barefoot in the last 24 hours. I've probably been barefoot more than I've worn shoes. Even at work, I was barefoot all
Yeah.
the second half of the day.
I know.
Like from 11 a.m. on, I was
know
barefoot
you walked barefoot across the parking lot to the
Twice.
other building. What is wrong?
twice. It's great. It's great, man.
In the past 12 hours, I've only had my socks off to shower.
Grounding. Ew, what?
Mm-hmm.
You just live in socks?
That's correct.
I feel like there's two extremes going on right here.
Absolutely, dude. I will wear my shoes as much as I possibly can. I don't. That is